Like if you found the video valuable. In the year 2189, Earth no longer followed a single timeline. Temporal corridors crisscrossed reality like invisible veins, pulsing, twisting, evolving. The Global Temporal Authority, GTA, regulated time travel under tight control. Only a handful of highly trained operatives, time couriers, could legally traverse the time stream. And among them, Kira Voss was elite. But today, something felt wrong. Kira stood in the middle of a desolate city square in Neo-Berlin. Everything was slightly off. The sun flickered like an old hologram. Shadows bent at odd angles. A flock of birds looped the sky in reverse before vanishing. Her chrono band blinked red. Timeline anomaly detected. She tapped her comm. Control, this is Courier Voss. I've jumped to 2189 Neo-Berlin, but this isn't my origin point. The architecture's pre-industrial, and the sky, she paused, watching clouds swirling counterclockwise, is glitching. Static, no response. Control, respond. Silence. Her gut twisted. Either her jump coordinates had been tampered with, or the timeline itself had splintered. She reached for her stunner but found nothing. Her belt, usually full of time tools, was bare. The chrono band blinked again. Identity, unregistered. Clearance, revoked. Her breath caught. Someone erased me. 12 hours earlier. Kira had prepped for a standard retrieval op. Fetch a 20th century artifact, a vinyl record, no less, from 1984 New York. Simple in out. She loved those kinds of missions, retro tech, neon, synthwave, street pretzels. But just before her departure, a technician passed her a sealed data cube. This wasn't part of the mission, she said. Change of plans, he replied, not meeting her eyes. Inside the data cube was a strange brief. Chrono drift anomaly detected, possible loop breach. Investigate. Coordinates hidden. Authorization. Shadow Protocol. Shadow Protocol was top secret. Rumors said it involved forbidden tech, even erased timelines. Only 5 couriers had ever been cleared for it. 3 went missing. 1 returned mad. 1 was Kira. She nearly walked away, but curiosity won. She initiated the jump. Now, as the city flickered around her like an old film reel, a voice echoed behind her. You're late, Kira. She spun around. A woman stepped from the shadows. Same face, same scar, same fire in her eyes. But older, wiser, worn, herself. Wah, what the hell? The older Kira held up her hands. You jumped into a fractured stream. There's no going back now. Kira took a step back. You're me. I'm what you become if we don't fix this. This? The drift. A temporal infection. Someone, or something, is manipulating cause and effect across splintered timelines. You were bait. Bait for what? To lure the Chrono Architect out of hiding. The Chrono Architect was a myth, a supposed entity capable of rewriting timelines from outside of time. The GTA dismissed it as courier campfire stories. But Kira had once glimpsed a red-hooded figure just before her father disappeared during a jump. The architect was said to erase people, not just from history, but from memory. You've seen them, older Kira said, reading her mind. So have all of us. How do we find it? We don't. It finds us when the drift destabilizes reality enough to collapse an entire timeline. And that's a good thing? Older Kira smiled grimly. It's the only way to force it to show its hand. They moved through the fractured city, a ghost town caught between alternate realities. One street would shimmer as 1800s cobblestones. The next, post-apocalyptic wreckage. Every hour, a reality shift occurred, violently. In one shift, a swarm of robotic crows attacked. In another, the air froze solid. Through it all, the two Kieras collected data fragments, visited echo points from alternate timelines, and uncovered slivers of truth. Someone had tampered with the temporal core beneath Neo-Berlin. That someone had her fingerprints. You did this? Younger Kira demanded. No, older Kira said. We did. Future us. Under pressure. The architect offered a bargain. Save a loved one, lose a reality. I chose. My sister. A name burst into Kira's mind. Maya. A sister she didn't remember, but suddenly felt like she'd known all her life. You're remembering, the older self said. The more we stabilize the stream, the more it floods back. They reached the city's central tower. Once GTA HQ, now a swirling vortex of collapsing timelines. Inside, tech from 100 eras floated mid-air. Debris looped in slow motion. Memories collided in Kira's head like exploding stars. Her childhood, a fire, a girl calling her name through smoke. Maya. She had existed. Once. The architect had offered to save her, in exchange for warping time. We're almost at the breach point, older Kira said. What happens there? We meet it, and you decide. Decide what? Whether to reset everything, or let the drift consume us. At the breach point, time stood still. Literally. The wind stopped. Dust froze mid-fall. Then it appeared. A tall figure, draped in layers of crimson robes. Its face obscured by a mask that constantly shifted between human, alien, and machine. The Chrono architect. It didn't speak. Not with words. Its presence echoed inside her mind like thunder in a canyon. You want her back, it said, showing an image of Maya, alive, laughing, real. I do, Kira whispered. You know the cost. What cost? She asked. The architect raised its hand. All the versions of Neo Berlin, every variant, every branch, flashed around her. Billions of lives, some peaceful, some at war, some full of joy, others twisted and broken. To restore her true timeline meant erasing them all. A clean slate, a single path, one world, hers. Kira hesitated. Her heart ached for Maya. But was one perfect world worth infinite others? She began. Then, a whisper. Older Kira stepped forward. Let me bear it. Let me choose. But Kira held her hand up. No, I have to do this. She looked at the architect. Show me what happens if I refuse. It did. Reality would continue to fracture. Worlds would collapse. Eventually, all timelines would implode, a multiversal collapse. Unless someone accepted the architect's bargain. I have another choice, Kira said softly. She stepped into the breach. And merged with all versions of herself across the timelines. A billion Kiaras. A billion decisions. All coalescing into one consciousness. She saw everything. Every mistake. Every triumph. Every love lost. Every sister saved. Or not. When she opened her eyes again, she was beyond time. And the architect was her. A reflection. A guardian. Not a god, but a possibility. She reset the stream. Not by erasing timelines, but by weaving them together. A braided time flow, where realities coexisted, informed by each other. No longer collapsing, but evolving. Neo Berlin returned, now shimmering with echoes of what had been and what could be. In her hand was a locket. Inside, a photo of her and Maya. She had saved her, and everyone else. Not with sacrifice, but with understanding. Epilogue. Kira Voss stood atop the GTA tower, now the temporal weave nexus. She was no longer a courier. She was the Chrono Weaver, guardian of the multiverse. She watched the sun rise, not once, but 100 times across 100 skies. And whispered, time is not a line, it's a story. One she would help write.